welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a review show special. This is where I take a particular creator, a particular company, a particular trick, and I talk about the company, I talk about the trick, I give you a deep dive into it. And today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite people, Henry Harrius. Now, Henry Harrius obviously runs Henry Harrius Presents. A lot of people know him from his amazing cube work, but obviously he's also, over the years, brought out some incredible close-up stuff like Magnet Zero. Henry's just great. I love his stuff. I perform with it all of the time. Now, I'm going to be looking at a couple of items that came out a few months ago that I really feel haven't been given a big enough platform. I think these flew under people's radars, and it's a shame, and I wanted to kind of shine a light on these two products. Now, one of them is a cube-related product, but one of them is more of a mentalism item. Both of them have come out through Henry Harrius Presents, and I'm going to talk about both of them. So, without further ado, we're gonna go into a review of both of these tricks. Now, before we do, I did sit down with Henry and have a bit of a chat about both of these products. The first product, Totem, I sat down with Henry and also the creator of Totem, and I asked them some questions about it, but then we also talked about the other item, which is a book about magic with Rubik's Cubes, and it is incredible. So let's play the interview first of all. You can hear Henry's thoughts on both of these products, and then when we've looked at the interview, I'm going to come back and do a review on both of the tricks. So I am super excited because I am here with Henry Harrius, obviously the founder and CEO of Henry Harrius Presents, and also the creator of Totem, Alex. And I hope I said that right and I didn't completely.
Hello.
How are you,
Yes,
Alex? Are you okay?
Yeah, great.
Thank you so much for coming here. Look, I'm a bit late to the game because Totem came out a couple of months ago, and normally I'm on top of this stuff a lot quicker. But I kind of missed Totem when it first came out. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is genius. Like, this is just genius. And I was like, I'm going to have, yeah, it really is. And I said to myself, I want more people to know about this product. So then I arranged this interview because I really want to find out more about it from your point of view. So it's the second trick in the Worker series. That's correct.
After Magnet Zero.
Yeah, after Magnet Zero, which is incredible in its own right. And then after that, how you've got Totem, which, I was reading some of the quotes that you've got on this, Alex. You've got people like Colin McLeod, Patrick Radford, Lupo Volke, John Allen. You've got the best mentalists in the world raving about this product.
You.
Yeah.
You must be really happy, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. So what made you create this? So maybe you could talk us through what the trick is and what it does. I mean, obviously I'll be giving it a review later on, but if you could kind of just talk through what the effect is and what led to you sort of creating it, that would be amazing if that's okay.
Like how you came up with the trick.
Yeah. I think it's a mental influence effect. I love the psychological force very much. Yeah, after reading Bandage's Psychological Subtlety, the series, I fell in love in those effects. But I want to make it surefire. And I'm also a big fan of Colin Clown, and I love his effect, the perfect prediction in his book Divine. He's genius. And then I'm trying to combine the psychological force with perfect prediction, and I want to maximize the effect of the perfect prediction with the psychological force. And I think nothing better than the final prediction is inside
The chip. The gold coin.
the hands of spectator. So I have tried and error many times with many years to polish this effect.
Change the design,
yeah,
what kind of combinations.
Yeah, I find the best item for psychological force.
Yeah.
And the design of the tubes.
Yeah, to make it look like, at least feel like
I
normal.
Use over 3 years to polish it. Yeah. And Totem is my final answer. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's easy to carry. I carry it every day, all the time.
It's now in your bag.
Yeah, and it is angle proof.
Yeah. I
can do it anytime, anywhere. We don't need table. Yeah. Yeah. It's perfect for me.
Oh, it is. And I think that's one of the things that struck me. It's so practical. You know, the trick is really practical, and as well as being really practical, you know, when people hear the term psychological force, they worry, oh, it's not going to be surefire. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be able to do because I don't want it to go wrong in front of a live audience. One of the things that struck me about Totem is you always hit dead on every single time. Yes. Like there's no fear or worry about, oh, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? And that's part of the thing that I really liked about it.
Yes. And it takes the chance. I love especially the questions you ask at the beginning, because those, if you hit it, it's perfect hit. And if it doesn't hit, it's just like a mind game. You're just testing. Oh, I hope you understand what I mean. Like you ask them questions and then you answer me immediately. Okay, ready? Blah, 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 blah. And then if it doesn't hit, great. That's how I want you to be. Okay, so we'll start the game now. And then they think that's the starting point. But if you hit those, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
And then the main part, there's a free surefire prediction on the chip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if those doesn't hit, they'll forget it. Yeah. Because the way you ask them, it's just an experiment.
And it doesn't take up hardly any pocket space, does it? I mean, you can literally just have it with you. Yeah, it's just that. I mean, you literally just have it and you're ready to do it at a moment's notice. But it's also a routine. And what struck me about this is it's a routine that will play. You could do it close up. You could do it like really intimate, almost like a social performing situation where you're with friends or in a restaurant or a bar. But likewise, it's the sort of thing that you could really make a feature out of, and you could play it on stage to a whole bunch of people and you'd blow them all away.
Yeah.
Was that the intention when creating the trick? Was it your intention to kind of create something that would work in every environment, or is that just something that happened as you started creating it and workshopping it?
Yeah, the same.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think the great thing about Totem is that you know, normally like prediction, we always write down something, or we have something to place it here, but they did not expect that thing is actually the prediction. So it's a kind of surprise to the audience, and it adds surprise element, because most of the prediction, in fact, oh, I write something, you name something, oh, it hits. They can kind of predict that, but that one chip that combines all the predictions and everything there, it's something they don't expect. And that thing is the key point for you to make your prediction surefire. So
and the results are always out of the expectation.
Yeah, because they don't expect everything in one little chip, and it's everything there. And we designed it in a way that it looks normal. So it's not like a magic toy. It's not like a special chip.
Organic.
We try our best to make it like a real pocket chip. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's really cool. And yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can perform this. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with it. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's really, why I wanted to get you on here is I was blown away. I've been that guy that shied away from, you know, like psychological forces, because I'm always just like, well, I want it to hit. I don't want it to not hit. And this is just how you've structured all this together, and how you've streamlined it, and how you put it all together is just, you know, it's genius, really. It really is.
Yeah. I also think there's one great part that I think many people bought it, but they miss it. The main 3 questions, they all have a little subtleties before you ask them. I try not to expose the method, but like when you ask them to name a flower, it's not exactly just like name a flower. You're in a storyline. You're in Paris, and then you are on the argument. The argument.
Avenue des Champs-Élysées.
Yes. And the subtleties is that you will mention that there are two little kids coming to you and ask for you to buy a flower, right? And that two little kids is the convincer. That makes, if it doesn't hit, and then there's a girl and there's a boy. So it makes sense to have two flowers named. You know what I mean?
For example, in the platform of the railway station, there are two trains.
Like you mentioned it already. It's not, so you're in the storyline kind of make everything make sense.
Yes.
That's why most people, they just watch a trailer, or if they know a little bit about it, they will think, it doesn't work, right? How can you move it to a WeChat and it doesn't make sense? People will guess it, but no, there are many convincers in the script itself. The script is the most valuable thing, I think, in your share. And that makes everything makes perfect sense.
That must have taken a long time.
That must have took a long time to put that whole scripting together.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's a buzzword at the moment for magicians is everyday carry. You know, having something that you can carry with you when you're out and about and you're not at a gig that you can use to do a performance. This is perfect for everyday carry. I mean, this is something that you can put in your wallet, and anytime you want to sit down and you want to do a really engaging presentation, you're set with just one little token in your wallet, and you're set to go.
Yeah, and there's one more thing I want to mention. There's one part of the trick is very evil, like all his tricks. At the beginning, you ask several questions, right? And if you hit, maybe I could say it right, if you hit number 7, which is the biggest psychological force, you can move straight to forcing a suit, and that combines it, becomes the 7 of hearts, which you can reveal it at the end, which means you can, if it hits, you can force a card without even using a pack of cards. So you can reveal it in the gold foil in the last part. If it doesn't hit, you don't go to that way. You just go straight to where you're supposed to be. And then when you dump out the chip, you don't show the gold foil. And that's brilliant. And most of the time I see him perform it, it always hits the 7 of hearts. And even in one of the performances in the tutorial, it hits.
Yeah.
Like, I think 80%.
Yeah, for layman.
Wow.
The hit rate is
very
high.
Yeah.
Very high.
Most of the time I see him hit everything almost. Yeah.
Which is great, but again, if it doesn't hit, it doesn't matter. It's not like the trick hinges on that hitting. If it doesn't hit, it's totally not an issue.
Yes, I think the mindset, you have to be prepared that it's not going to hit. So you're practicing your script that if it doesn't hit, what would you say? And you have to change your mindset. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you go on the original way. So you change your mindset of that, right?
Yeah, because there are multiple effects in a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, even you don't miss, you miss the 7 of hearts. There are still many effects.
Yeah, the witch hand itself is an effect.
Yes.
So you shouldn't be seeing like, oh, if I go to witch hand, it's bad. No, it's actually good because you have mind reading witch hand part for the effect, and they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I want to mention there are many possibilities in Totem.
Yeah.
Yeah. A card, for example, the 7 of hearts is only one of those outcomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on your routine, you can write anything.
Yeah.
In the gold foil.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be a fabulation effect for your whole act, and then when they open, wow, show everything, hit everything in the gold foil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moreover, I also combined the 10-second star deviation in the first part of the routine. Then after the routine, you know the star sign of the spectator.
Yeah.
Many possibilities.
I think we mentioned these small details in the tutorial as well.
Yeah.
Oh, also the coin is actually designed in the dollar size, which is perfect
perfect for Timo Cruz's method for rich hand.
Yeah, because it's dollar size, and if you think the magnetic detector that we provided it's not good for you, you still have another
Many
way.
other
or even
you can use Fox,
Yeah.
Sixth Sense, or Timo Cruz's method. Yeah, up to you.
Yeah,
It's exactly, it's something that you can use many different things with 100%.
yeah.
Although
Yes.
what you provide is good as well. No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Before we move on to Cube Maestro, one other question for you, Alex. Are we going to be seeing something else from you in the future with Henry Harrius Presents?
Sure.
Yeah.
We have some
Perfect.
upcoming project.
A lot.
Amazing.
We're working on a lot of things now.
That's great. That's really good.
I'm so happy to know you love this event.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you.
you've set the bar very high there, Alex. You've set the bar very high with Totem, so I can't wait to see what you're going to come up with next. I'm sure it will be amazing. I'm sure it will. And then, obviously, the other thing that I'm going to be looking at, which I want to talk to you about briefly, is Cube Maestro. Now, Cube Maestro is a bit of a departure for you. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a departure for you, isn't it, to be honest, Henry? Just because normally when people think of Henry Harrius Presents, when it comes to Cube Magic, you think of really well-made gimmicks. You think of your Cube series. You think of Rubik's 360. You think of Rubik's Dream. You think of the, most people I know use the RD Insta cubes. You got, the RD cubes. You got Insta. I mean, I could go on and on and on. There's so many. But this isn't a gimmick as such.
Yes.
This is a real departure from you. This is a book by
Evgeniy Karelin.
That's it, right? I'm glad you said that because I wouldn't have stood a chance.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, I met Evgeniy at IFM 2019. Actually, we had chats before I went to a convention, and he's a brilliant, amazing, I think one of the best cube magicians in the world. Really. He started before, it's not a magician before. He started cubing first. It's like professional cubers, and he can solve a cube like within, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds. Yeah. Wow. It's like a cube. So he started as a cuber first. And then he watched, I think, Stephen Brundage performance, and then he thought, oh, wow, cube can be used for magic. And then he went into the world of cube magic. And that's why the tricks that he created, it's totally different from our mindset. Like my mindset, I use deceptions, I use magic theories, like Iron Man. I made all the shells and crazy stuff to make it work. But his way is totally the other way. He used techniques from the cubers, used the algorithm from cubers to sort out the thing he wanted to do. And that's why when I met him in IFM, he showed me many crazy things, and I've totally no idea how he did it. It's crazy. And then later, we decided to publish something for him. And at first, we're thinking maybe we should make tutorials or what. And then finally, we decided to make a booklet because I think his secrets is too valuable. It's for someone who willing to read, to learn everything. That's why the best secret is kept in a book. That's why we decided to ask him, why not just write the book? And it only have 3 tricks plus some bonus sessions. But I think those 3, it's like his best of the best. That's one. The first one is I think everyone heard about it. It's the algorithm.
That's the one where he's solving the cube behind his back with people and naming colors.
Yeah, name a color and then solve that color. Name another color, solve that color. And then finally, he said, I'm going to solve the whole cube. Show not yet solved. Wait, what are you talking about? And then it's solved. And even Alex is doing this trick.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the last phase, I asked the spectator to think of any card. Don't tell me.
Like, so they have like one more surprise. They thought, you're going to mind reading them? No, but because everyone think of a different color.
Or in
and
the parlor condition,
Right.
I asked everyone to think of a card.
And then the final phase, he said, what color? No. And then boom, the whole cube. So it adds a layer of surprise. Yeah.
That's
great.
That's
like
brilliant.
What he's most famous for. That's his trick. The algorithm, really good. But my favorite is actually the second one, because it's relatively easier. But you feel like a memory master. Like you have two cubes. One of them is mixed, one of them is soft. You take a soft one to them, you let them mix it up. Okay, I'll skip some details, but you let them mix up that cube. And then two cubes are different, all mixed up, and then you ask them to hand you one of them. And then you mix it behind your back and becomes exactly the same every side. And it's a real perfect match.
Yeah.
I think we have never seen a real perfect match cube before, right? It's a real perfect match cube. There's nothing about it. It's really matched.
I can do that, but I cheat and I use Venom Cube.
Okay, yeah. So sometimes if someone hands me two cubes, and then I can do this trick. And my when he showed me, I gave him some advice. I said, hey, why not make the presentation as muscle memory? So when you mix it up, I'm using muscle memory to remember every step. And then I remember all 6 sides of 2 cubes. And then I turn my back, you hand me one. And I also need to feel which one you're giving me. And then I will mix this one exactly the same as the one you covered. And then it's exactly the same.
Wow.
And it feels like some crazy memory trick. But the fact, super easy.
Wow.
Even I can do it, right? So it's super easy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the second trick. And that's the one I really love. The third one is his idea to do a matching with a mini cube and a large cube. And the great thing about that is when you buy the booklet, we provide you the boxes. That boxes is actually for you to secretly load a mini shell onto a mixed up mini cube. So imagine you have a large cube and small cube, and the small cube, you have the box, you open the box, you dump the cube out, you say, you mix it up. Okay, I don't want to say it, put it back in the box, close it, you cover it like this. So there's no way I know the combination. And then I take this one and I kind of like mind reading, I feel what's the combination. And then you take out the cube back and it's all 6 sides matches. And then you can place this mini cube back to the box, place it in your pocket, and then you solve the large cube. Now, when you bring it out again, you can bring out your cube to chocolate. So you can end with a really nice ending. Because they look exactly the same, because the box design is exactly the same. So you can end with a big ending. And that already is a very complete close-up cube routine.
Yes.
That's great. That's amazing. And that one's not actually that difficult either, is it?
Sorry?
That one's not that difficult either, is it? The sweep routine, it's not that hard. It's quite easy.
Just place it in, take it out, and it's done.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
you may need to have a little concept about stack of a cube, which I think like 99% of the cube magicians, they already know that. Yeah.
One of the things that I really appreciated reading through the book was you had the QR code links in there.
Oh yes. This is something that he insists to do. Because he said, I want everyone to actually learn it. I want, even if it's a booklet, but I want everyone who can follow it and they can have a video so they can remember some algorithm more easily. So that's, he's like a perfectionist. I mean, Evgeniy. So he wants everything to be perfect. We proved it several times. And every time we find out something, oh, yeah, we're going to change this. We'll change this. Yeah. And I'm glad he really liked the booklet himself as well. So
that's amazing.
Last week, I used the routine of algorithm to make my father-in-law crazy. Bullshit.
Yeah, right.
That's amazing. And Alex, obviously you're a creator, and you know, you're an amazing creator, and the fact that you're performing this material as well speaks volumes to it, because I mean, obviously you've got so much material of your own that you could do. The fact that you're taking somebody else's material and doing it as well just shows how strong it is, you know. So that's great.
He loves it very much because it only uses one cube. So you have a very complete routine
just
already.
Use one normal grip. I always carry
one normal
in my
cube,
bag.
and then
And there a multiple phase routine. With layers and a surprise ending. I think expedient.
Yeah. Because most of the time, if you only have one cube, most of the time you cannot let them mix up the cube, right? So what they will ask for is, can I shuffle the cube, and then you solve it, right? If you only have one cube, they will ask this question. But now, because this routine have some context, and you ask them to think of color, blah, blah, you drag them out from that direction. Yeah, that's why it's a very good one cube routine. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Take out the
I love it.
Well, I mean, it's amazing, and I'm going to review it in a minute, and I highly recommend it. But before I do, one more thing. Is there, can you, obviously I asked Alex if there's anything else coming from him, and he said yes. Surely you've run out of ideas with cubes at this point, Henry. I mean, you've got them spinning on your finger, you've got them matching, you've got them solving instantly, you're putting the bloody things in bottles. Like, what else can you do with the Rubik's Cube, my friend? Surely there has to come a point where you go, you know what? I've done everything with this prop that I can do. Or are we still going to see more stuff coming in the Cube series?
Yes, that would be. We are preparing something. And like this year, we should have a new series, which is also related to Cube. And maybe I have to stop now.
Giant tease.
Many people know that I have all kinds of funny or different cube gimmicks. I've kept it for myself, and I think many have seen it, like 7x7 cube and some funny things, and I think people would be interested on them. So we're planning if we would release some of my like personal designed cube gimmicks.
Wow.
I think I showed you a little bit as well, right?
I remember seeing something which I'm not allowed to say, so I've not said it to anybody, but I remember seeing something a little while ago, the last interview, which was very exciting. So can we expect to see that later on this year?
Yes, should be coming year. Yeah, I mean this year. Coming year. This year. Coming year.
That's so exciting. And obviously people will know by now, but congratulations on winning the Trick of the Year, Magic TV Trick of the Year for the second year in a row. Obviously, by the time this video's come out, people would already have known because we'll have done the awards thing. But literally, I mean, the first year you won. The first year you won with Magnet Zero. The second year you won with Cube and Bottle. I mean, you're just smashing it out the park, my friend. Every single time you bring something out, it's incredible. It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's commercial. It just hits, and it hits hard, and you're a blessing to Magic, my friend. You really are.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's my great pleasure. I don't know what to say now.
Well, you guys just keep creating magic. You keep bringing good stuff out. That's all we need you two to do, because you know, my hat's off to you. You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much.
No problem. I'm going to take this into the studio now and do a full review of everything. But Alex, Henry, thanks for spending time with me. You guys are awesome. I'll see you again, okay?
Okay.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so first of all, thank you to Henry for that interview. I know he was a very busy guy. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it. And obviously, it goes without saying, I said it to Henry, but I'll say it to you guys as well. Even though I consider Henry a friend, this is going to be a full and honest review of both of these products. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the book. So the book is a bit of a different, it's a bit of a departure from most of the stuff that Henry does with Rubik's Cubes. Because normally, when you think about Henry Harrius Presents, you think about all of the wonderful gimmicks that Henry's created. Most cube workers use Henry's gimmicks. I mean, you saw Ryland in BGT use Venom Cube. In the VT, he used Tornado Cube, right? In the Audition, he used Cube in Bottle. Henry's gimmicks are used by magicians all over the world. And this is very different because this doesn't use gimmicks, really. This is a book on magic with Rubik's Cubes, okay? Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. And obviously, you heard the interview, so I'm going to keep things brief. But really, if you are a cube worker, then this is absolutely something that you should get. Because the stuff inside here is very, very clever. And the routines inside here just use regular Rubik's Cubes, but it allows you to perform absolute miracles. And I think that a lot of the stuff that's coming out with Rubik's Cubes at the moment is gravitating towards being able to do magic with a regular Rubik's Cube. You look at the stuff that, Colin Klaus and Kev G have put out on the Refractor project. That's all stuff with a regular Rubik's Cube. What we have here is exactly the same thing. There's 3 or 4 routines in there. The book is so well produced. It really looks incredible. When you flick through it, all of the pictures are in full color. All of the algorithms are broken down step by step. I did question when I started looking at this book how difficult it would be to follow compared to video instructions on Rubik's Cube material. But it's actually easier, and I can see why they've actually gone with a book, because you can have a step-by-step thing on how to do the algorithms, and the photos are taken of a performer's eye point of view, which was really good. So I very much like that. There's a whole bunch of different routines in there. My favorite routine is an impromptu cube matching trick, which I'm going to perform and I'm going to talk about. All the routines are great, but this is my favorite routine, and it's one that I've performed a few times. Let me perform it for you so you can see exactly what it looks like. Here's a performance of the cube matching routine from the book. Okay, Ryan, I'm going to show you something with 2 Rubik's Cubes, okay? I'm a bit nervous about doing this to you, but to Alicia Dixon saying you were the king of cubes, I'm going to give it my best shot. So 2 Rubik's Cubes, which one do you want?
That.
Oh, no, okay, so I'll have this one. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to mix these up a bit, yeah? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do something that not even you can do with a Rubik's Cube, okay?
Yeah.
You know, like in Rubik's Cube magic, there's lots of different algorithms that you have to learn. And
Yes.
you know lots of different
Yes.
algorithms, don't you? Like F2L and PLL and OLL and all those L's. I've been teaching myself how to actually memorize on the spot really complicated random algorithms. And I can use that in order to do something really crazy. So I've mixed up your cube. Your cube's not mixed up. You're going to put in a series of random moves. I don't want it to be something that you know the pattern. It's going to be completely random. I'm going to copy the moves that you make. Okay, so I'm going to copy the moves that you do. And what's going to happen, hopefully, is I'm going to remember those moves and I'll be able to show you something really cool. So you can put as many moves in as you want to. I just need to copy them. So what's your first moves? That one down there. Okay, next one. That way, yeah? Which one was that? That. Okay, yeah, got it. Is that the bottom one going across like that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, got it. Up. Was that up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Down. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Now, you can see that these two are completely mixed up, right? I mean, there's no discernible pattern. There can't be a pattern because I mixed mine up, you mixed yours wasn't mixed up, so we're going to end up in 2 completely different situations.
Yes.
Put them both behind your back. I'm going to look this way and I want to hand one to me and keep the other one behind your back. Now, if I was standing up, I'd put this behind my back, but as I'm sitting down, I'm going to do it under the table, okay?
Yeah.
Keep that behind your back. Now, what I'm going to try and do is remember those moves. And I'm going to try and replicate them. This is hard, and the reason this is hard...
I'm going to solve the cube and then put it in the position.
Well, yeah, what's really hard is I don't know what cube he gave me. So it wouldn't make any difference. I wouldn't know whether to solve it or not. So I don't know what cube he gave me. They're both the same. I didn't look. So I wouldn't know how to solve the cube, but I think I've just done the impossible. Where's your cube out? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this side number 1. Matches exactly.
Wait, what?
Side number 2. Matches. Side number 3. Matches. Side number 4. Matches. Side number 5. matches.
But you know what? I did this.
Yeah, you did this on BGT. And you're not going to believe this, but side number 6.
But in a different way.
Matches. Yeah, you use Venom Cube, right? That's a way of doing
It's
it.
another trick by
Purely
Henry
from another trick by Henry Harrius. And a memory way of doing it with 2 regular cubes. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so I love that because it's just 2 regular Rubik's cubes. That's all it is. It's 2 regular Rubik's cubes. You put them down on the table and you do what you just saw them do right there. And in the book, they talk about the justification of you following the moves that the other person's doing. And it was Henry that came up with the idea of actually trying to commit the moves to memory and so on and so forth. Very, very, very clever. It's a really clever approach to a cube matching trick. And when you get to the point where you've mixed up your cube, they've mixed up their cube, you can show that neither one matches. You turn your back, they give you either cube, you're not looking, behind your back, you do a complete matchup. And unlike a gimmick like Venom Cube or Rubik's Rubik's Dream or anything, you can show every single side of every single cube. Yes, there's a little bit of procedure in order to get to that point, but to be honest, I think the procedure kind of makes the audience more invested in the routine, because it's kind of like, it's a little bit different to a normal cube matching trick. A normal cube matching trick is, it's like, right, I'm going to mix up this cube, you mix up this cube, oh my god, they've matched. Whilst with this one is more of a case of, you know, you're going to have people maybe believing that that's what you're doing. You know, is he really memorizing all of these moves? Oh my gosh, how is this even possible? So it's a different effect on the audience, but it's a really strong effect. Then there's other routines in the book as well. I mean, obviously, the feature routine on the book, which I've learned as well, I'm not going to perform everything, but I've learned this as well, is, you know, you mix up a cube and they literally name a color. Whatever color they name, you can show that that's the only side of the cube that you've solved, and then behind your back, you can solve the whole cube. In a way, similar to some of the stuff in Refractor, but a completely different approach to it, right? And still really good. And then there's stuff with cubes, chocolate. And look, it's a great book. It's very well illustrated. It's very well explained. And in all honesty, if you only learn the cube matching trick, I think it's worth the price of the book alone. The other stuff in there is great as well, but for me, the cube matching effect is brilliant, because there are times when people have seen me on stage do a cube matching trick, right? And I've matched 2 cubes, and then in a situation they might go, oh, show us that trick, and I might not be able to do it in a close-up situation because it's Venom Cube, it might not be possible, I might not have the gimmicks on me. I'm always going to have a couple of Rubik's Cubes, so I'm always able to go into this. And the algorithm, you know, a lot of the time when you're learning cube magic, you have to learn long algorithms that take forever to learn. Not the case with this. The algorithm is super easy to learn. I learned it almost immediately. So the whole book is great. The whole book is wonderful. It is definitely a worthy addition to the Henry Harrius Cube range. But for me, the standout trick in the book was the cube matching effect, although everything on there is really good. And I think what's nice about this particular book is different people will like different things out of it. Some people will like the cube matching effect, some people will like something else, some people will like something else. I'm going to give this book 95%. It is absolutely worth buying. I am going to be doing that cube matching effect for a long time to come. Even if I don't do any of the other stuff, that is going to stay in my repertoire. And what's nice is because the algorithm's so easy, it's probably the sort of thing that you could stop doing and then go back to 2 months later and still be able to do it immediately. So yeah, 95%, it's really good. Let's have a look at the next trick. Okay, so the next trick we're looking at is Totem. Now, Totem is a complete different direction to the cube range. This is a trick that allows you to predict from the very beginning all of the decisions that somebody is making in a story that you tell them. So you're telling them a story, and during the course of the story, you're asking them to make various different decisions, and the decisions that they make are predicted from the very, very beginning. And that's what's really clever about this. I mean, really, really clever. What's interesting about, I've seen different versions of this before. So I've seen versions of this. I remember, I think it was Michael Murray. It was Magic Box. I'm pretty sure it was Magic Box. They brought this thing out many, many years ago where you had a page out of a book, and you gave the page to somebody and you asked them to You know, you asked them a story, and it was a bunch of psychological kind of forces and psychological different methods and techniques. So they created a story, and then when they read the page out of the book, the decisions that they made matched that page out of the book, right? And I've seen various different versions like that before. This is similar, other than what this is going for. What this has going for it is they've applied a really cool concept by I can't remember. Sorry, my mind's gone blank. They've applied a really cool concept that what it allows you to do is, if that psychological force doesn't hit, you're able to, in a very, very baffling, stunning way, force them onto the Colin Cloud. That's it, it's a Colin Cloud technique. They've applied a Colin Cloud technique so that even if the psychological force doesn't hit, you're still able to get them to the correct answer. Because a lot of the time with these psychological type of things, you'll have some hits and you'll have some misses. And you just kind of breeze past the misses and you just focus on the hits, right? And the overall thing is a hit because you've focused on the points that you've actually hit with. Whilst with this, everything is a hit, because even if they miss, there's a way of actually going with this so that it becomes a hit, which sounds incredibly complicated, but it's very, very clever. And as well as telling this psychological story, as well as telling this story and having them make these various different decisions, there's moments where you're getting them to do kind of a witch hand routine, which is just a genius idea. To combine the witch hand concept with the sort of psychological story type presentation is just a genius concept that I've never seen before. Let's have a look at performance of it first of all, and do a performance of it so you can see exactly what it looks like. And then when I've done a performance, we'll talk about what we think. Okay, I'm going to do this trick to you and your mom. Okay? And what I have is a little golden coin here. You see that, yeah?
Yes.
And we're going to use this to tell a story. And the story is actually going to be constructed by your mom. But Sarah, I need to do like a warm-up with you first of all to make sure that we're in the same ballpark. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, Sarah. I want you to answer them as quickly as you can. First question, when I snap my fingers, answer, name a colour.
Purple.
Okay, interesting. Question number 2, name a number from 1 to 10.
6.
6. Question number 3, who's your favourite singer? See, she's not answering as quickly as she could.
I don't know. There's too many to choose from.
Too many to choose from. Okay.
I like Ed Sheeran. He's one of my favourite singers.
Ed Sheeran. Right. We're gonna try. I think I'm on your wavelength now. We're gonna try and conduct a story, and the story is going to take place in your imagination. So Sarah, I want to listen very carefully because you're going to make a series of choices, and Ryland's going to help you, and this coin is going to be used to add a bit of so what's the word I'm looking to add a bit of I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Add a bit of chaos into the story, and you'll see what I mean later on. So the story begins. I want you to imagine that you're in a train station somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
You're in a train station somewhere in Europe, and there's 2 trains that are about to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you look over to the right, and the train on the right is leaving for a European city. You know, somewhere like London or Lisbon or Berlin or something like that.
Yeah.
When I start my fingers, name that city that it's going to be going to.
Paris.
Okay, fair enough. So in your imagination, you look to the right, you saw the train, it's leaving to Paris. Yes?
Yeah.
What I want you to do is I want you to get on that train,
Right.
and you get off when you're in Paris.
Okay.
And then what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you're walking down the streets of Paris, and all of a sudden you see some flowers that by the side of the pavement, and you decide to pluck a flower up and smell it, and then hold on to it. Sarah, what's the flower?
Rose.
Okay, fantastic. A nice red rose, Ryland. And I want you to imagine in your imagination. So we're in Paris, and we're doing this whole thing, and we're walking down the streets, and you've picked up a red rose, and all is wonderful in the world. I want you to imagine now that she sees a museum. You see a museum, Sarah,
Okay.
and you walk into the museum, and you walk onto the second floor, and you see a painting staring at you right in front of you, a very famous painting. Sarah, what's the painting?
I don't know. The Scream.
The screen. Okay. I want you to imagine that you look at the screen, and then you look to the left, And when you look to the left, you see another painting, and it's the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
So you see the screen in front of you, you see the Mona Lisa to the left. This is where we're going to throw a little bit of chaos into the story. Rylan, this golden coin, I want you to put it behind your back. Okay? And then what I want you to do is put it into one hand and one hand only, and bring your hand out in front of you like this. Now, I couldn't possibly know if it's in this hand. Keep it tightly. I couldn't know if it's in this hand or this hand, correct? If it's in this hand, think Mona Lisa. If it's in this hand, I want you to think Scream. I know you probably don't know either one of those paintings.
I do know the Mona Lisa.
Okay. If it's in this hand, think Mona Lisa. If it's this hand, think Scream.
Mona Lisa's the favourite painting.
Are you thinking? You're thinking Mona Lisa, aren't you? It's this hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Open your hand. So in your imagination, you saw two pictures, and you decided on Mona Lisa, and that was a completely free choice. And this all happened in your imagination. Sarah, think about this for a minute. You decided that you were going to go on a train to Paris.
Yeah.
You decided that you were going to pick up a red rose. And between you and Ryland, you decided that you were going to be looking at the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
And this coin has been here the whole time, hasn't it? But it's not a coin, Ryland. It's not a coin, Sarah. It is actually a poker chip. And what's interesting is I knew exactly what decisions you would make, Sarah, from the
Right.
very, very beginning. Because if I take away the gold paper, you will see that this poker chip right here, Ryland, first of all, said Paris on it. You had a free choice of anywhere. You chose to go to Paris, and you can see the Eiffel Tower, which is iconic to Paris. And what do you see at the bottom? You see red roses. And then if I turn it over, you can see right there is the Mona Lisa. Is she holding a red rose? I think she might be holding a red rose. Sarah, you can have a look at that. It predicted every single decision that you were going to make. And that is Totem.
What happens if it was anyone else? What happens if it was anything else?
Man, that predictable. You knew I'd say Paris.
So you can see right there, and both Sarah and Ryland had never seen this before, and you can see right there that what this is, this allows you to tell this story and never miss, right? You just never miss. Now the way that you're actually doing the witch hand routine is really clever, and there's no like expensive electronic detection devices needed for anything like this. They've taken a very old principle and applied it in a different direction. And I'm not going to say what the principle is because that will telegraph things, but they've taken a very old principle and using that principle, they've made it very, very clean. So literally, you can have them put this behind their back, and you can tell them to bring their hands out, and their hands are closed, and you instantly know where the chip is in their hand, right? Every single time, you instantly know. That's the beautiful thing about this, right? That's the really, really, really beautiful thing about this. And it's really nice. And you know, I've tried a lot of electronic metal detecting type devices in the past, and you know, a lot of them are great. I'll be honest, didn't have that much luck with Flux. I had more luck with the Joel Miranda thing that got bought out by Alakazam recently, that was based on Moz's thing with the Sharpie. I had more luck with that. That worked really, really well for me, and was more kind of, that was my favourite device. But I really like this. And the whole idea of it, it takes no pocket space. You literally just need a chip in your pocket and you're ready to go. Now, Henry talks about how you have gold paper around this chip from the very beginning, which allows you to put it down and tell people it's a coin and so on and so forth, and then go into this thing and then open it at the end and show it's a chip. For sure, you could do that. But to be honest, if you just say, I've got a poker chip here, I don't think people are going to look at it. I think if you didn't want to go down the gold paper route, and to be honest, I don't know if I want to go down the gold paper route, but if you don't go down the gold paper route, I think you could just bring a chip out and just say, I've got a poker chip here, we're going to do something. Hold it in your hand for me, will you? That's great. I'm going to construct a story. And if you don't bring any attention to the poker chip and you don't tell them to look at it, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I mean, obviously, the way that the guys do this on the tutorial is they have this gold coin, and they show it and they do the story, and at the end they open up the gold paper, and when they do, the chip has displayed all of the outcomes of what everybody was doing, which is fine, but I think I actually prefer not having it in gold paper. At least that's just my way of thinking behind it. But you know, you can go whichever way you want to. The point is, there's various different aspects behind this. The theoretical idea of combining a psychological story built of psychological forces, combining that with a witch hand routine is genius. Absolutely genius. This is amazing. It means that you're never going to be in a situation where you haven't hit. You know, a lot of the time people don't do these routines because it's like, oh, what happens if this doesn't hit? What happens if that doesn't hit? You're never going to be in this situation. This alone is genius. But the way that they've constructed the witch hand routine is just really, really good as well. Like I say, they've taken a really old principle that was used in a very different way and they've combined it in this way, and it's fail-safe. It's 100% secure. Now, could you use flux or something like this in order to do the same thing? Absolutely, you could. You don't need to. Because you've got everything that you need, and it takes up no pocket space. You literally put the chip, the gimmick is there with the chip. It's not going to get lost because they kind of fit together. When you go into your pocket, you bring the chip out. If you're using the gold paper thing, you just need to wrap the paper back round again, and you're good to go. And at the end of the tutorial, the guys talk about how you can go in different directions with this, and they talk about other routines that you can do during the course of this routine to like get people's star signs so you can go in a different direction later on. It's very well thought out. It's a 50-minute tutorial. They leave no stone unturned. The prop is really well made. Everything is really good about this. I absolutely love it. I can't believe when this first came out, I kind of overlooked it, but I'm so glad that I've now found it because this is just genius. It's amazing. It's really good. It is the absolute definition of pack small, play big. I'm going to give this 100%. It's incredible. And, you know, if you do what, there's no table. Think about it. Think about all the positives. No table, no angles, instant reset. I mean, the only negative I can think of is it's a different outcome. It's the same outcome every single time, in that the story is going to be the same every single time. But, you know, I mean, that's the only negative I can think of this. It's really good. And obviously you need a bit more time. This is like pipe and slippers magic. If you're in a room with like 100 people and you're having to quickly run from one group to another, this isn't the sort of thing that you want to do. But if you have time to sit down and speak to people, or if you're doing a parlor show, this will play really big in a parlor show, maybe even a stage routine. This is really good. It's getting 100% from me. It's highly recommended. So there you go, guys. That is another review show special in the bag. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again next week with a bunch more videos. But one more time, thank you very much for joining me right here on Magic TV. I will see you again soon. If you haven't already done so, by the way, go and check out the NETRIX, www.thenetrix.com. Thanks for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.